You're listening to Independent TV 7. Kindly click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Independent TV 7. Also, don't forget to click the bell icon to get more notification. Thanks for watching. Yeah, you're listening to Independent TV 7. As the headline says, Buhari dragged to United Nations over assault on Justice Mary Odili's resident. President Muhammadu Buhari has been reported through Mr. Diego Garcia Sayan, a United Nations Special Rapporteur, on the independence of judges and lawyers over vicious assault on Justice Mary Odili. Sarah, who launched the report, urged Garcia Sayan to put pressure on the government of President Muhammadu Buhari to conduct a credible and thorough, impartial, independent, transparent, and effective investigation into the vicious assault on Supreme Court Justice Mary Odili by rogue officials. Sarah also urged him to ask the Nigerian government to ensure that any investigation into the assault is based on human rights principles and protected from undue influence. The outcome of the investigation must be made public and the suspected perpetrators and their sponsors brought to justice. Sarah's petition followed the recent invasion of Justice Odili's Maitama Abuja residence by armed personnel. In the petition dated 13 November 2021 and signed by Sarah, Deputy Director Kolaole Oluwadare, the organization said the intimidation and harassment of Justice Odili is a flagrant assault on judicial independence and apparently aimed at further weakening judicial independence and the rule of law in Nigeria. Sarah said that the unconscionable attacks against Nigerian judges would seem to be a deliberate attempt by the authorities to exert pressure on the judiciary and undermine its independence and authority. These attacks are putting Nigerians' freedoms at risk. According to Sarah, the current investigation by the Nigerian police fails to meet international standards as it is neither independent nor effective. As such, the investigation is incapable of identifying all the suspected perpetrators and their sponsors and credibly delivering justice in the matter. The petition reads in part, "We urge you to push for the adoption of a resolution by the Human Rights Council to establish an international, independent, and impartial investigation and investigative mechanism into the attack on Justice Odili and other unresolved cases of intimidation and harassment of the judiciary and assault on the rule of law in Nigeria since May 29, 2015. An international investigation into the cases of intimidation and harassment of judges in Nigeria will meet the highest international standards and best practices and assist the Nigerian authorities to take steps to improve respect for the independence of the judiciary, the rule of law, and access to justice for victims of human rights. If not urgently addressed, the attacks, intimidation, and harassment of the judiciary may render judges unable to defend the rule of law, to provide accountability for the many gross human rights violations in the country, or to protect the rights of the Nigerian people. The Nigerian authorities have a legal obligation to take measures to protect the independence of the judiciary and ensure the safety and security of individual judges and life and properties. Sarah urges you to visit Nigeria to carry out a mission to investigate cases of the intimidation and harassment of judges, assess the independence of the judiciary and the rule of law, and to continue to monitor the situation. The proposed visit would help to support the effort to bring Nigeria's justice system in line with international standards and free of political interference. Nigerian authorities continue to fail to thoroughly, impartially, independently, transparently, and effectively investigate cases of attacks, intimidation, and harassment of judges, the very people who protect and guarantee human rights. That is what Sarah has told the United Nations Secretary or Chairman to come and investigate Buhari as it is. In a nutshell, the proposed visit would help to support the efforts to bring Nigeria's justice system in line with international standards and free of political interference. Nigerian authorities continue to fail to thoroughly, impartially, independently, transparently, and effectively investigate cases of attack, intimidation, and harassment of judges, the very people who protect and guarantee human rights. While the Nigerian authorities have arrested some of the suspected perpetrators, at least 10 more persons reportedly involved in the assault on Justice Odili are still at large. Independence of the judiciary is enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution of 1999 as amended and under Human Rights Treaties, which is the agreement including the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the African Charter on Human People's Rights, of which Nigeria is a state party. The attack on Justice Odili is not an isolated incident. There have been several violations of judicial independence and the rule of law in the country. In 2016, for example, Nigerian authorities reportedly invaded in the middle of the night the homes of some judges of the Federal High Court and justices of the Supreme Court. The authorities have so far failed and or refused to identify those suspected to be responsible and to bring them to justice. An independent judiciary is essential to the protection of human rights and respect for the rule of law. The principles of independence are the hallmarks of the rational and the legitimacy of the judicial function in every state. Their absence leads to a denial of justice and makes the credibility of the judicial process dubious. It is the principle of the separation of powers together with the rule of law that opens the way to an administration of justice that provides guarantees of independence and transparency, as expressed in the Bangalore principles of judicial conduct. Judicial independence is a prerequisite to the rule of law and a fundamental guarantee of a fair trial. According to our information on Friday, October 29, 2021, some people claiming to be soldiers and policemen invaded the Abuja home of Justice Mary Odili. The perpetrators identified themselves as members of the government joint task force and used a fraudulently obtained search warrant to attempt to gain access into Justice Odili's residence. The perpetrators claimed that they had information that illegal activities were going on in the residence. Well, the question is if the judiciary, or rather the court, has not given them the so-called warranty or guarantee, whichever way, because I believe they do not understand what guarantee or warranty or search warrant simply really means. I would say it is a thought of the federal government by what United Nations is about to do to Buhari's government, because Buhari, there are so many lawlessness that has been going on and violation of fundamental rights of Nigerian citizens. Maybe this Odili case will teach them a huge lesson for the government of Buhari to have rehabilitated those that are called terrorists. Those are supposed to be prosecuted. They will still rehabilitate them into the military, either the police force or the Nigerian army.